Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to make this super cute tote bag. It is a pattern I designed myself. I do have a written pattern out for it. It is a paid pattern, but this is just a tutorial on it just because no one has purchased my pattern yet and a lot of you guys have been asking me for a tutorial. So without further ado, let's get started. Materials you'll be needing for this tutorial is 3 different color yarns, or if you're just gonna go ahead and just do one color, you can just use one color for the tutorial. I have here 100% acrylic yarn, medium weight, size 4, and then a US H hook or a 5mm crochet hook, a pair of scissors, and then fabric for lining is optional. I'm not sure if I'm going to line this bag or not yet, so I won't be getting any fabric until I figure out if I'm going to line it or not. But yes, that is completely optional. We're gonna start with the center color. So that for me, that's this color over here. So you wanna go ahead and grab your center color yarn. Okay, so to start, we're gonna make a magic circle. So if you do not know how to make a magic circle, I have a video out on my page that I can link to the description box below, but I will not be going over that in depth in this tutorial, but I'll go slow so you can see. Okay, so once you've made your magic circle, you can go ahead and chain 2, and that's going to count as your first double crochet in this round. So from here, we're going to go ahead and make 2 more double crochets into this ring. So to make a double crochet, you're going to go ahead and yarn over, insert your hook into the ring, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through the last 2. We're going to make 1 more double crochet into this ring here for this cluster. So go ahead and insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2. So now you have 3 double crochets in your ring with this chain 2 that we did counting as a double crochet. You're going to chain 1 in between each cluster. We're going to have a total of 6 clusters. So you're just going to go ahead and make 3 double crochets into this ring now after you have chained 1. So go ahead and make 3 double crochets. Remember to chain 1 after every cluster of the 3 double crochets. So now we have 2 clusters with a chain 1 in the middle. So I'm going to go ahead and just make all 6 of my clusters in total. One, 2, 3, 4. I need 2 more. So once you've made all of your 6 clusters, you can go ahead and pull this tail end to close your magic circle. So go ahead and pull. And then we're just going to slip stitch to the top of this chain 2. So go ahead and slip stitch. Okay, so once you've slip stitched into the top of your chain 2, you're going to go ahead and slip stitch all the way till you get to this corner space. So you're going to slip stitch into the next stitch, slip stitch into the next, and then slip stitch right into this chain 1 space, which is your corner. So now that we're in a corner, we're going to go ahead and chain 2 to count as our first double crochet. We're going to go ahead and chain an extra 1, and then we're going to make a double crochet all into that same space. So make a double crochet right into that chain 1 space. And that's going to be your first corner. Each corner is going to be double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, all into the same space. So now we're going to make a double crochet all the way down here, down this row, until we get to the next chain 1 space. So when you're working your next double crochets, just pull over your double crochet so you can see this next stitch right here. So a double crochet into every single stitch until you reach your chain 1 space. So in your chain 1 space, you're going to make a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet all into the same space to make a corner. Again, we're going to make double crochets all the way down until we reach our corner space here. So when working your last side, it might be a little bit difficult just because we made slip stitches along that side, but go ahead and just wiggle your hook in there to make your last side of double crochets before we finish this round. Okay, so I've made my last double crochet of that side where the slip stitches were. You're going to go ahead and slip stitch right into the top of that chain 2. And then you're going to slip stitch right into that chain 1 space. From here, you're going to go ahead and chain 2 again. And this is going to be your last round of this color. So we're just going to repeat what we have been doing when we start the next round is just chain 2. That counts as your first double crochet of that corner. You're going to chain 1, and then you're going to go and make another double crochet into that same space. Now we're going to make double crochets all the way down until we reach our next corner space. Make a corner, which is just 1 double crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet. Repeat the just 1 double crochet in every stitch till you reach your next corner. Repeat the corner and go all the way around until you get back to this chain 2 space. Okay, so once you've made your last double crochet of that row, you're going to go ahead and slip stitch to the top of this chain 2 space. So I'm going to go ahead and just slip stitch. Oops. Now I'm going to chain 1 and then pull up a long loop. You don't have to pull it too long. Again, I don't really weave in my ends, but I'll show you how to do that if you're interested. Go ahead and fasten off, pull tight, and now we're going to work on the next color. You're going to make a slip knot, which is just kind of what we did with the magic circle, but not all the way. So you're going to hold your yarn over your 2 fingers, hold with your thumb, go around the back, cross it over, flip your fingers instead of your hook, take your pinchers, go under this first loop with your pinchers, grab this back loop, pull it through, and remove your 2 fingers while still holding that tail. Pull it, go ahead and insert your hook into that loop. And then go ahead and pull tight. Now we're going to attach at a corner space. So you can attach anywhere really. I'm just going to attach in the same space that I ended my row with, so I can knot all my ends at the same corner, if that makes sense. So go ahead and find that chain 1 space right here. Insert your hook and make a slip stitch to attach your next color. And the next two like colors, so for all of these colors, it's all going to be the same pattern, which is just when you begin the row or the round, you're going to chain 2 to count as your first double crochet, chain 1, and then double crochet in the same stitch. And then now we're just going to make double crochets all the way down until we reach the corner space, make a corner, double crochets all the way down till you reach the next corner, and so on and so forth until you get back to this chain 2. Remember to slip stitch at the top of the chain 2, and then you're going to go ahead and start the next round. But I will meet you when I get back here so I can show you what to do and how to move on with the next rows, so it's not a very long video. Okay, so again, making a corner, you're going to do the 1 double crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet into the same stitch, like that. And then double crochets all the way down, repeat, double crochets all the way down, and then I'll meet you when I get back to the chain 2 space. So I'm going to go ahead and make my last double crochet of this round. And then I'm going to slip stitch right to the top of that chain 2. So 1, 2, oops. Okay, so now I'm going to slip stitch into this chain 1 space. And then again, we're just going to repeat the round. So I'm going to go ahead and make 2 more rounds like we have been doing of this color for a total of 3 rounds of this blue color. So remember to chain 2 at each beginning of the round, chain 1, and then double crochet all into the same space, oops, to start the next round. And then just repeat that. So I'm going to go ahead and repeat this for a total of 2 more rows, and then I'm going to slip stitch, chain 1, pull up a loop, fasten off like we did with this pink row, attach my next color, which is this greenish color, into a corner like we have been doing, and then repeating what we did all over again for this, what we did for this blue, okay? Now that you have your 2 panels done, you're going to go ahead and join the sides. So you're basically just going to flip it upside down like this so that your bad side is facing up. And you're going to fold it so that these 2 corners meet each other like this. And then they look like that. I like to kind of pull on them a little bit just to loosen up. If you crochet with tight tension, you'll understand. But yeah, so we're just going to fold them in like this. Just pulling them. And then now we're just going to go ahead and join them. So what we're going to do is grab our last color that we just used. For me, it's this turquoise green color, and then we're going to join here and slip stitch all the way through here, join these 2, slip stitch all the way down, and then the same process going up. So I will show you how to do that. We're going to start with a slip knot. So again, just like this, pinchers, go under this first loop, grab this back loop, and just like that. Take your hook and put it back on your yarn here. And then now we're going to go ahead and take the first panel and we're going to flip it upside down like this. So we're going to take this corner here and we're going to insert a hook through both front and back stitch. and we're gonna make a slip stitch like this. Okay? Oops. All right, so now we're just gonna make slip stitches through these stitches and the back stitches all the way down till we reach our chain 1 space here. Okay? So I'll do some with you on camera here so you can see. Oops. Slip stitch. Oh my goodness. There we go. Again, the next stitches, slip stitch. The next stitches, slip stitch, and so on and so forth. I feel like this is probably like the easiest part out of everything, is just attaching them together, just because you're just making slip stitches really all the way across, connecting the two. All right, so I'm going to continue that all the way down till I reach my chain 1 space corner piece right here. So this chain 1 space there and this chain 1 space here. So I'm at my corner space here, and I'm just going to go ahead and slip stitch through the chain 1 space and through this chain 1 space here. And I'm going to go ahead and grab my second panel. Oops, put that over there. Grab my second panel, and I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch right through those chain 1 spaces as well. So go ahead and line that up. I'm going to put my hook through the back one and through the front one. Grab my yarn and go ahead and pull through all 4 panels like this, and you're just going to slip stitch. Oops. Okay. All right, so now you have your 2 joins. You have these ones that are already slip stitched together. You just joined your second panel with your first panel. And now you're just going to continue slip stitching through both stitches on this side like we did with this side, all the way down until you reach your corner piece there of your chain 1 space. Okay? So I'll do some with you here. Through that one. Oops, through this back one, slip stitch. Just like that. And then continue all the way down. All right, so I'm on my last couple of slip stitches here. I'm just gonna go ahead and do my last 2 slip stitches. All right, so once I've done my last slip stitch, I'm going to chain 1, pull up a loop, and then go ahead and fasten off. Pull that out, and then pull that tight. Okay, so you go ahead and flip that back right side. So that's what it should start to look like. You have your joined sides here. And then don't forget to keep pulling on your bag, just because, again, tension. So yeah, so now we're just gonna go ahead and join the middle here, and then we'll join the back middle, or whichever one you prefer. So again, we're just gonna go ahead and attach our yarn here at the bottom. So with a slip knot, go ahead and make that, and then put your hook through. And then attach your yarn right where you joined that chain 1 space there. So go ahead and join your yarn there, and then find that chain 1 space. Oops. Okay, so once you've made your slip knot, you're gonna go ahead and you see this chain 1 space here where we attach the 2 sides. We're gonna go on the stitch right next to that. So this stitch here. So insert your hook through that one, and then find the next one on the other side, and make a slip stitch to join. Oops, pull that tight. And then again, we're just going to slip stitch in every stitch through both sides all the way up. And then don't worry about this tail end or this little bump here. We're going to weave like sew this in, weave it in so that it lays flat like this and not up like that, okay? But continue making slip stitches through both stitches all the way up. I'm on my last couple of stitches here. I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch through this chain one space, and then slip stitch through this chain one space also. Okay, and now we're going to chain one, pull up a loop, and then fasten off. Pull tight to secure. So that's that, and now we're just going to repeat the same thing on the other side. Okay, so join here with a slip knot and make slip stitches through everything all the way up till you get to your chain one spaces here. Oops. Slip stitch, chain one, pull up a loop, and fasten off. So after that, I will show you how to make the strap and how to weave in your ends, okay? I went ahead and finished that. So I have my bag here. I slip stitched through the back and the front. So now this next step is completely optional. You can leave it just like this, or if you want it to be a little bit taller on the top here or deeper, you can attach your yarn here at the top and make single crochets in every stitch all the way around for however many rows you'd like, just to make it a little bit taller. But for me, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and attach the straps just because I like these like a little bit on the smaller side because they're just something quick. So yeah, I'm gonna show you how to do the strap now. Okay, so now that you have your slip knot on the hook, you're just gonna go ahead and chain 75. Now this number may vary for whatever length you'd want your strap to be. If you want it longer, just add some more chains. If you want it shorter, you can take away some chains. It's completely up to you, but I just like the length of 75 chains. I finished my 75 chains, and now we're just going to go ahead and work down our chain. Just make sure that all of your stitches are facing the right way when you work this. So just run your fingers across your chain like this, so you're working in the correct stitches and not the back, okay? So just when you're working it, just make sure you keep running your fingers across like this. So from here, we're going to make a double crochet in every chain all the way down. So to start, we're going to work on the second chain from the hook. So not this first one here, we're going to work on this second one. So go ahead and insert your hook and make a double crochet. And then you're going to continue this all the way down the chain for a total of 74 double crochets, sorry. Okay, so I done my double crochets all the way down, and I worked my last double crochet down at the bottom here. You're just gonna go ahead and attach this to your bag. So what you're going to do is take that double crochet with your hook still on there. You're gonna go to your corner chain one space here, and you're just gonna go ahead and slip stitch that on. And then you're going to grab the other corner of that strap right here, and you're going to go through this next stitch, so not the chain one space, this stitch right next to it, go through that and through your corner of your strap right there and slip stitch as well. And then you're going to chain one, turn your work like this, and it doesn't matter if it's the back way or the front way, just because we're going to be making double crochets around the strap. So now that you attach that, we're going to go ahead and work our way back down so that we can attach this to this corner here. So what you're going to do is make a double crochet, but you're going to make it around the strap. So go underneath the strap, grab your yarn, and make a double crochet. So now this part depends if you want your strap to be fuller or not. I'm not gonna count how many double crochets around this strap that I'm making, but I'll show you what it looks like once I do a couple of them, so you know if you want to make a bunch or keep it a little bit more spacious. I like to make a bunch just because it makes like a ruffled effect. When you make a bunch, it just like ruffles up like this all the way down. So again, just continue making double crochets around that strap all the way down, and you can push your double crochets over so that it's not so gappy like this. So I'm going to push them down, and then I'm just going to continue making double crochets all the way down the strap. And then I'll show you what to do once you get to this part here, okay? Making my last double crochets here. And then now I'm just going to go ahead and slip stitch right into this chain one space on the opposite side of the bag. So I'm just going to go ahead and maybe I'll insert my hook through the end of this strap here. Be a little bit tough through there. And then through this chain one space and slip stitch. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and chain one. Oops. And then fasten off, leaving a pretty long tail because we're going to go ahead and use that tail to sew the strap more securely down onto the side of this bag here. So yeah, so that's roughly what it looks like. Again, I told you it makes like a little curled effect here, the little ruffle effect, and this was the effect I was going for when I made this bag, just because it is a whimsical like fairy bag, and I thought this would be super cute. But if you do not like the ruffled look, you can always just make double crochets up along your stitches of the beginning of the strap. But I will leave mine like this, and sometimes I like to pull on the double crochets just to move the ruffles around, like make one side more ruffly than the other, or vice versa. Now we finished our bag, and we're just going to go ahead and focus on weaving in all of these ends here and then flipping the bag inside out and also weaving in those ends. So right here I'll show you how to really just weave in an end, and then you can continue with all of your other ends. So you just thread it onto a tapestry needle, and then for me I like to secure these bottom ones down just because it makes a little bit of a bump there. So what I'm going to do is go through this part here, pull that through tight, so you see how that flattened it out already. And then I'm just going to go ahead and weave back and forth through these slip stitches here. And the key to weaving in your ends, I believe, is just going one direction and then going back up the other direction just to secure your ends. But for me, at the end, I like to put it on the inside of the bag just to be more secured. Usually because I line the bags and it'll be tucked behind the lining, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to go ahead and insert this through the bag here and then in through the inside of the bag and pull tight. And that's how I weave in my ends. So I'm just going to continue that with these ones. But for this top one, I like to make a knot first before I weave the ends in just to secure it. So I make a regular knot and then I make a double knot, which I just make a knot and then I wrap it one more time around just to secure, pull that tight, and then I weave these ends in. Okay, so to weave in the strap parts to secure your bag, just go ahead and thread on your yarn onto your needle here. And then what I like to do is just flatten it out straight so that I can see it like that. And I like to just go back and forth, so like through the strap part here and then through a stitch on the side, and then just weave that in like this and then go back through and then just weave that in. And then I like to make a knot. So to make a knot, sorry, my tapestry needle fell off. So to make a knot, I like to just go through the bag part like this. And then don't pull your yarn all the way through, just pull it like that so you have this little loop here. And then put your yarn through that loop and pull tight like that. Okay, so your strap isn't going anywhere. And then to weave in the ends, I just like to go back and forth just to secure the bag secure the strap to my bag. And then once I'm done, I like to just go ahead and cut off that excess yarn like that. And that's what that looks like. And the strap is not going anywhere. So I'm gonna repeat that on this side here. Again, weaving that on and just pulling your stitches from your double crochets down like this and weaving through the double crochet and the double crochet on the bag. All right, so I went ahead and weaved in all my ends and secured my strap to my bag. Now I'm just gonna flip this inside out and just tie off all of my ends and then secure this part here shut right here. So I'm gonna flip it inside out. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and tie these off. You can weave them in if you'd like, but I'm going to be lining this later down the line. So I'm not going to be weaving in all the ends or worrying too much about it. Okay, so to go ahead and sew this circle shut, you're just gonna go ahead and take that yarn and thread it onto your needle like this. And really what you're gonna do is just thread it all the way around. So I'm gonna go through these stitches here, pull that through, go through the next couple of stitches around that circle, pull that through, and you can see it starting to tighten up on you once you are pulling that yarn through. Okay, so I'm gonna pull that close like that. So that's what it should look like. And then now I'm just gonna go ahead and go through one side and through the other. And like we did previously, make sure you leave a little loop like this. And then you're gonna take your yarn and your needle and go through that loop just to make a little knot. And then you can just weave this in as normal. Oops. And you're just gonna continue that with the other side. Go ahead and grab your scissors and just snip it right there and then stretch that out, and then just repeat that with the other side. And then you can weave in all these ends here, or me, I just like to knot them like this and then just snip them off like that. Okay, no one's going to be seeing this side just because this is the inside of the bag, but continue weaving in your ends and then you can flip it inside out. So I'm going ahead, flipping my bag right side out again, and that is what it looks like. I'm just going to go ahead and keep pulling on those sides just to stretch out the bag. And that's what your Fairy Fly tote bag should look like. Now, again, you can line it if you'd like. I'm not going to be lining it in this video just because I don't have any fabric on me right now, but I will be lining it later on in the future. I just peeped a little fuzz there. I'm just going to cut that off. So that is all for my Fairy Fly tote bag tutorial. If you found this video helpful or like this video, go ahead and leave a like and a comment. It would really help my channel. And if you like tutorials like these, go ahead and subscribe for future content and turn your notification bells on so you know when I post. But until next time, bye guys.